All right. Obviously positive starting our 3 weeks in a row on the road here with a win yesterday. Hard fought, team, resilient win. Clearly, we've got to score some more points offensively, protect the football, and continue to press on and learn from the ebbs and flows of the season. And the good thing is we've been able to kind of do that throughout most of the season, while winning football games and/or, putting a stop to, that 2-game slide we did have by winning a couple in a row. Got to continue to get better. You see it just watching games around the league. Every single game is its own unique thing. It doesn't matter who's played who, what it was like when that team played this team. The challenge this week against Tennessee have always thought very physical team, built with their physicality and running the football well and doing some really good things on defense. So it's going to be a real challenge for us. Clearly a very big week for us to prepare to go try to win another one on the road.
You ever won a game without scoring a touchdown that you can recall coaching playing?
Yeah, I can. It took place last year in Las Vegas. So thank you for bringing that one up. No, it's, I saw whatever the number was in regards to not scoring and having 3 turnovers, whatever that record is over since whatever it was, 2010. But I just think that speaks to, kind of the resiliency of the team. Winning on the road is always hard, no matter what, even when you play a lot better than we did yesterday, especially offensively. I thought our defense, outside of really one drive, was phenomenal all day long. And the specialists, new guys, welcome to the party and having a huge impact on the game. So we'll take it. We still got our 7th win. We still went 1-0 yesterday with a whole lot of stuff to clean up.
Is there any update with Aaron Jones?
Yeah, he came in today feeling pretty good. He's, just day-to-day with the ribs and expect him to might be limited, early on in the week as we kind of let him get back up on his feet, but feeling really good about having him for this week.
The run game, what did you think of Cam Akers and just the work he gave you?
Yeah, I thought just across the board with that amount of volume of carries for Aaron, Cam finding some space in there on some runs and showing some really good vision and really 2 weeks in a row now doing that for us was really big. And then I thought Ty, you felt Ty coming in the second half there and you felt some explosiveness getting downhill and that group as a whole was a real positive for us on a day we needed to lean on the run game a little bit more than maybe we have up until this point. And I was really proud of the way it was kind of a physical, kind of grinded out 3, 4, 5 yarder kind of day. We didn't really have any of those big hits that maybe take that to a really, really significant day. But for the most part, those guys all did a lot to find the space in there. I thought we were physical up front. Against some good edge rushers, and they got some, Armstead and some guys inside that can be hard to run it against. Josh Oliver was phenomenal again. TJ showing up as well, both in the pass game and in the run game. Those guys were really impactful.
What were your impressions of Sam after having watched the tape back?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything, Ben. I think there's some footwork things that as you get into the meat of the season, you start you got to make sure you're on top of just every little detail of what is the play, where are my feet and eyes supposed to be, and how disciplined are you despite how the day has gone. And I think it can be a really good learning lesson for Sam here in our system of just continuously trusting your feet and eyes and let them be, your barometer for how you make certain decisions. And I thought there were some things execution-wise that could have been better around him. But as a whole, offensively, got some chunks in the past game for, a game where the entire game plan really was predicated on not allowing those things to happen and really trying to frustrate our guys outside. I think that's why our tight ends, whatever they were combined, 12 for 124 between those two guys. There's a reason for that. And I still think there were some ops, though, that we can either be more accurate to the sideline on some throws, play with a little bit more timing, having our feet set to the right areas of the field will eliminate unneeded wasted movement, maybe making us late at times to some things, but all of which is really good things to watch on a tape after you've won a football game, and now you can really coach those things hard. I know Josh and Grant and myself will do that, and Sam will be right back to where we need him to be, which has been, leading this team for 7 wins this year, and there's a whole lot of football left that we're going to need him to continue to improve.
Kevin, your post-game.
The 90% shell or close to 90% shell defense that they played yesterday, and that was sort of borne out in some of the public data that's out there too. And I'm curious, what you take away from that. Was that percentage just like a one-off outlier of a team that just really was committed to doing it that way, or is that potentially something you'll see and see moving forward? Or?
Yeah, I think we'll definitely, we see it most times anyway, Kevin. You go into a game, whether it's a 50-50 split, whether it's a situational D&D split, hey, second and 3 to whatever, this is a highly likely chance percentages-wise that you're going to get this. We don't particularly get that. So I think that's why stacking some runs and just putting the ball in play. I think some of our efficiency of being able to have drives of, I think we had 4 of 10 or 12 plus, whatever it was some of those completions and run after catch underneath what was a significant amount of coverage at the intermediate and deeper levels. And then I think that we have tools that we can use, and we didn't really, the way we were kind of piecing together drives and moving it, we used some of those things, but it was about the red zone. It was about detail to finish drives and ultimately try to punch the ball in the end zone a couple times there. That game looks awfully different.
Kevin, in your post-game speech, I think you made it pretty clear to Sam, just your belief and the team's belief. Did you feel like he needed to hear that?
No, not at all. I mean, it's just, I really, in those moments, I don't think about those things ahead of time, and I certainly wouldn't have thought about that ahead of time of not scoring a touchdown yesterday. So it's one of those things, we're just in the moment. I'm speaking from the heart and what I really think and believe, both the good things that allowed us to win the football game and the foundation of our belief in one another. It would not be as authentic if an opportunity like that made us change the way we think about everything. But at the same time, I think it's important we look at it with a really close eye together and make sure that we, anything that can be coached is coached, and we hold that standard. And at the same time, areas where, I can help Sam because there's plenty of those too. So I think it's just a matter of making sure full transparency to our team, even though it ends up being much more transparent to just the folks in that room every single week. But it is important for everybody in that room to hear me say that, not for any other reason than it's the truth.
How much were you reminded, Kevin, of just the difference maker that Hawk is? I know you just touched on.
Yeah, I mean, those third down catches, work in the intermediate area, the big 26-yarder where he got in the middle of the field against man coverage, where so much was kind of predicated to where Justin was and how the split safety man coverage was being distributed. It was kind of an on-the-fly, not a creation. It's a base part of what we do, but not one you would find living on the call sheet anywhere, that we kind of talked about and wanted to get TJ going that way, and just great execution, throw and run after catch for sure.
Kevin, in terms of a lot about the response, for Sam's especially, their turnover. What's sort of been your read on that, on how he's done that? Not just yesterday, but season.
Yeah, I think he's done a really good job of that all season long. Even talking to him, on the flight home, spending some time talking to him. He's in a great headspace. He's ready to go to work. He's ready to, really diagnose, exactly the what and the why of kind of what took place and how we can be better. And that's why I feel really confident that we're going to go to work and improve.
Kevin, in terms of welcome back to the party, we know that it's great to have a kicker that's ready.
Yeah.
But to handle that mental pressure of never kicking in an NFL game before and then get all 4, how does that impress you in terms of?
Yeah, I told him before the game, I said it the night before the game in front of the whole team that we all had confidence in him, and you're gonna go do your thing. It's just the same old thing. You've done this 10,000 times, but now you're going to be doing it to help the Minnesota Vikings win, and that's exactly what he did. Really proud of Park for sure, and we're going to need him here a time where we're not going to have Will, and we're going to kick field goals, and we're going to try to take points when we can get them. And I think he's off to a great start.
Cashman was back yesterday and obviously played pretty well. Van Ginkel had a sack. Do you find that when you've got, and Pace had a big play,
Yeah.
when you've got everybody, does that make you that much better because you're fresh all the time? Or you just talk about that linebacker group?
Yeah, I think having those guys back in there was just a charge of life of what the original, you put all those puzzle pieces together, the original plan, you see it coming to fruition where maybe guys aren't being stretched or stressed outside of their real roles, which are really versatile. But when you can get kind of that sweet spot of guys doing the things within the defense and pairing it all together with the disguise as a group of 11, snap counts, even along the D-line, even along the linebackers, those edge players kind of looking where, there was only 40-something plays in the game that they played, so you really don't worry too much about that, but they were getting on and off the field and giving us more ops offensively. So I think Cash told me at one point he felt like he hadn't even broke a sweat, and I said, well, that's a really good thing because you're playing really well. So I'd prefer that this keeps going, and he was great just having him back, green dot, communicator, IP, flying around doing his thing, and those edge players when they get an op like they do in situations like that feel really good about that coverage and rush, kind of getting married together and working well together.
It seemed like Cam Robinson was playing with some fire. Just what you see from his return and play overall.
Yeah, it meant something to him. Clearly, you spend that much time there. It was an emotional kind of exciting day for him to go back there, and I think he was really happy with getting the win.
Kevin, do you and Sam watch the film after games, or is it like that, or is it just Josh and that group?
Yeah, I'll go in there with those guys. Sometimes I'll make sure that I'll get some time one-on-one with him and make sure that a lot of the times those conversations can be really valuable for the group as a whole, whether it's JJ, Nick, or Brett, and Josh or Grant, just that dialogue in there from the play callers' kind of intent. Hey, so, they had really gone to this kind of coverage. This is why I'm calling it. Did you know that at the time? Did you not? What can I do to communicate more? Am I communicating too much? I mean, it works both ways. You want these guys to be able to play and be prepared. They are really, really well. Josh and Grant do a great job. But there is, to Kevin's question earlier, there is an element always, it seems, that we need some adjustment on game day just because sometimes you can go into a game and get a totally different representation of defense. And that's where you got to be, flexible enough to do that in the pass game, and you got to be willing to commit to the run game and then convert some third downs, which we're able to do. And the number kind of, with the way kind of the game unfolded at the end. But I thought we were at a good place in the pass game, converting third downs for a while. We, had some obviously in the red zone that didn't get to where we want. Had one conversion that they called Cam for, being in the backfield without really warning. So there was a few more out there to be had that might have changed our ability. First and goal at the 4 off of Addison's catch versus I think we were going back there 3rd and 17 or whatever it was and kind of got a screen and play to just make the field goal a little shorter.
Kevin, what's your communication like with Justin on a day like that? Is there anything you kind of need to say to him to counteract frustration, or what?
Yeah.
What's your...
No, I think we've been through kind of a couple games like that before, where like there's trying to have a coverage plan to Justin, and then there's an entire aspect of team defense against Justin, and give them credit. They were able to they were willing to sacrifice time of possession, the run game, tight ends, work in the middle of the field. Things like that, and if we don't turn the ball over, maybe they look back on that as was that really the best way to go about it? I don't think we necessarily. There might have been some, maybe one, pressure, but outside of that, it was very, very much, hey, we're gonna play this game the way we decided to play it, and keep it close, which they did, because we made some mistakes, and I think when we can punch the ball in the end zone, Ben, and force them to, have to think about the way they're playing, because that's happened too. There's been many games where that kind of philosophy shows up, and we're able to, get a lead, and then that whole game kind of shifts and changes from how you're trying to call it. But yeah, to answer your question, the dialogue's always ongoing, and he's such a heady, smart player. He understands kind of what's happening. You can always tell by the way he, comes out of a cut and he's double teamed, or he's had a guy bumping him and a safety over the top, and he looks over his left shoulder and sees Josh Oliver running down the middle of the field, or TJ winning on a cut over the middle, and he's excited as anybody. He just wants to win. He's ultimate competitor, and love everything about him. Thank you, guys.